Coming up, controversy surrounds a Southern Kentucky school district amidst the debate over a constitutional amendment.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 11.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. Tonight, controversy surrounds the Pulaski County Board of Education after several posts they made make it clear they oppose Amendment 2, which is on Kentucky ballots this fall. It would allow public tax dollars to go to private or charter schools. Even as some lawmakers voice their concerns, school officials say they are not backing down. Grayson Passmore spoke to a political science expert who explains why the posts may be causing some contention.
You'll see the post on the Pulaski County School District's homepage, their social media pages, and each individual school's homepage. The first post reads, "No on Amendment 2, public funds for public schools." The posts are now raising questions about what school districts can say on political issues.
Finding the balance between not wanting to silence government workers while not wanting to stack the deck with government funds is a really tough one.
Dr. Stephen Voss says the political activity of government workers has long been a bone of contention. Kentucky Congressman Thomas Massey said the district is blatantly breaking the law by using public resources to campaign against a ballot initiative. In a news conference Monday, Attorney General Russell Coleman was asked if his office was aware of the post. His answer was yes.
It's pretty unambiguous. It's pretty crystal clear. We as an office are reviewing, our team, our lawyers are reviewing the post, we're reviewing the law. If indeed there's a violation of state law, we know what the facts are. We're looking at the law. We will act with our partners accordingly.
Since that interview, Coleman's office has issued the opinion that public schools can't spend money and school workers can't spend work time advocating for or against a political cause.
Now that schools and education policy are a main focal point of the culture war, political activity by teachers has gotten more attention.
In a statement, Superintendent Patrick Richardson says the Board of Education is not intimidated by the threats of politicians and advocates of Amendment 2. Another post from the district cites data from the Kentucky Center for Economic Policy. It estimates the district could lose between 8 to 16% of its current budget if the amendment passes. Coleman's stance is clear, but he realizes it's contentious.
It continues to become more and more interesting as we get towards our Commonwealth voting on Amendment 2.
In Pulaski County, Grayson Passmore, WKYT.
Well, while we wait to see how this will play out legally, Kentucky voters will decide to reject or adopt the amendment on November 5th.
Well, as advertised, we had temperatures in the mid-60s across eastern Kentucky. Some places stayed in the low 60s, especially over towards Williamsburg. They had a high of 82. Manchester had a high of 83. Harlan made it to 85. 86 was the high from Prestonsburg to Jackson down to Hazard. Wise and Clintwood didn't even get into the 80s. Got 77 in Wise, 78 in Clintwood. And right now at the 11 o'clock hour, we're still seeing temperatures in some places in the 70s. Jackson, one of the warm spots on the map at 74, 77 in Louisville, 71 Lexington, otherwise 60s from Ashland down to Hazard, down to Manchester, 68 in Somerset, 64 in Williamsburg. All is quiet right now on live pinpoint Doppler radar, and this will get a break tomorrow as well. It's when we get into Thursday that rain and thunderstorm chances will start to pick up. But the next 12 hours keeps temperatures in the 60s throughout the overnight hours. When you wake up in the morning, temperatures in the 50s and 60s will greet you. I'll have the complete first alert forecast coming up in a few minutes. Steve.
All right, Eric, thank you. A Powell County grocery store is left with significant smoke damage after a fire broke out there. Crews were called to the IGA on Main Street in Clay City just before 3 this afternoon. Jeremy Toms has the latest.
Major Lisa Johnson with the Clay City Volunteer Fire Department says when they arrived to the scene of their local IGA grocery store Tuesday afternoon, they didn't know what to expect.
So we didn't know if it was in the attic, in the walls, because no one had saw any flames yet.
But that quickly changed.
When you opened that door, what did you see?
Black smoke.
She described a concerning scene as the smoke mixed with aerosol cans and other flammable items inside the store. But 3 counties worth of fire crews worked quickly to put it out and ensure that no one was hurt.
When you pull up and you say, is anybody in there? Nope, everybody's out. That's the best news in the world.
While there weren't a lot of flames involved with this fire, first responders say the smoke damage was very extensive, to the point that any food inside the store will be considered a loss, and a big loss for this small community.
Because you know everybody, people go in here to shop, they help each other, and that's how people survive here, is helping each other by all their businesses.
Johnson frequents the store herself and knows it will be a big financial hit for the owners. While she can make the trip to Kroger and Stanton for the foreseeable future,
It's not the same when you're not, it's home. This is home. Clay City's where we live.
she hopes people continue to support this hometown staple.
It's hard when you lose anything like this in a small community, but they'll be back on their feet. IGA, they'll come back.
In Powell County, Jeremy Toms, WKYT.
First responders believe the fire originated around a cooler in the back of the store, but an investigation continues into its cause. It's unclear at this point when the store will reopen. 3 people are in jail tonight after a violent incident happened yesterday morning in Pulaski County. Asa Simpson, Braylon Greer, and Christian Helton are each charged with attempted murder. Police say a woman was shot while she was being followed by another car on Stewart's Lane near Kentucky 192. According to court papers, the 3 suspects were all in the car the shots were fired from. Asa Simpson told investigators he was trying to locate a stolen car.
What's running through my mind is you just gave your life away for 20 years, 25 years for a van and a gun, a $200 van.
An arrest citation says all 3 suspects are denying they were the ones that fired the shots. Police say the victim was taken to Lake Cumberland Regional Hospital first, then on to UK for the gunshot wound. Kinetic by Windstream is offering a reward of up to $10,000 to anyone with information that leads to the arrest of people that are stealing copper cables and cutting fiber optic wires. Since the beginning of 2024, 66 copper thefts have happened in Clay County alone, which has led to phone outages for more than 350 customers, according to Kinetic officials. Copper theft can have a widespread impact on the community, including small businesses and first responders. A Kinetic spokesperson says it's also dangerous for both the thieves and the public.
There is a risk of electrocution for the thieves themselves and potential hazards to the public due to exposed cables and compromised infrastructure. We would encourage anyone that sees any wires down to report it to local officials immediately and turn around if it's in a street or report it as soon as you can.
Officials with Kinetic say they are just as frustrated with this situation as their customers are, and they are working with law enforcement and city officials to get this solved. In the coming weeks and days, students will be going back to the classrooms, and college officials are working hard to prepare campuses for the return of their students. WYMT's Neely Green looked into local colleges and their campus security for the upcoming school year.
As students are making their way back to college campuses, there are important things to remember regarding safety. Several colleges offer campus security services and resources. At Alice Lloyd College in Knott County, there's police protection at all times, ensuring that someone is there whenever help is needed.
We have 24-hour police protection for our students here on campus, and we have officers patrolling all throughout the day and throughout the night.
There are several security cameras throughout the campus and plenty of security personnel.
We've got constant, again, surveillance of all time. We've got cameras all over the place, all the parking lots, all the roadsides, so we can see everything.
The campus also has an alert system that allows students to contact the police department. Similar to ALC, Morehead State University also has what they call Eagle Alerts to notify their campus of emergencies. The University of Pikeville also offers a notification system for their students as well. Bear Alert is available to anyone in the U-Pike community. There are also safety beacons located on the campus for emergencies. The university's website says public safety has beacons installed on campus that will produce a loud, audible notification with an LED display and instructions. If you or a student you know needs access to security information, they can visit their college or university's website. Neely Green, WYMT Mountain News.
The alert notification for most campuses will notify students, faculty, staff, and parents about any emergencies or severe weather conditions. A public virtual town hall meeting was held today to discuss improving outcomes for Kentucky families and children in the foster care system. The meeting addressed better inclusion of these voices and their impact on current foster children. Findings will be reported to the Kentucky Citizen Foster Care Review Board for inclusion in their annual recommendations to state leaders.
Because this is a very, very difficult thing to navigate, emotionally, intellectually, financially. It impacts every single part of your life. And having someone that you can trust and turn to who's been there is more valuable than you would think.
The next regional meeting is Friday. Registration is required. Officials say they are hoping to have the Fleming Neon Library reopen by Christmas. The library was damaged in the July 2022 flood. Letcher County Library Director Alita Vogel says they hope to have reconstruction on the Blackie Library done not long after Christmas. Vogel says the libraries are important to the communities.
I think they're important everywhere. They act as a community meeting place. And a resource for people that sometimes don't have any other resources. Like people can come and use the computer, and they can come and take a painting class, or they can come to yoga.
Vogel says they are working to flood-proof both libraries. The city of Wayland in Floyd County now has its first pharmacy. Route 7 Pharmacy opened back in April. However, owner Brad Little says there were several obstacles he faced during the process, from devastating flooding impacting the city and loans to start up the business. He says local leaders and an economic development group helped him along the way.
The mayor's been great. The mayor helped me find ways to make this happen. I bought the land. I had to get approval to raise it out of the flood zone. I did that. They helped me with that. I met with SCED, and SCED is great for Eastern Kentucky because it's hard to get a business loan. It's hard to get a small business loan for anybody.
Little says a big reason for starting his own pharmacy in Wayland is because there are not any nearby, causing folks to drive nearly 30 minutes for different health care services. Coming up on Mountain News at 11, former President Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris go after each other ahead of next week's Democratic National Convention.
Temperatures today were in the mid-80s. We'll continue the warming trend and increase the rain chances. Details on the First Alert forecast in a few minutes. Stay with us.